Okay, so what if I told you that the key to unlocking your deepest emotional patterns wasn't, in a therapist's office, but maybe out in a field with one of the most intuitive animals on the planet? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today with Gene Starling's incredible book.
So let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're stuck on repeat? You know, with that weird sense of déjà vu, but in your own emotional life? You're having the same arguments, you're feeling the same exact frustrations over and over, and you just can't figure out why. All right, let's get into it. The book we're looking at today says that the answer to that big why is all about the unseen signals we're constantly sending out. Think about it. Our inner state, what's really going on inside, is broadcasting messages that shape our whole world. And most of the time, we don't even have a clue we're doing it.
So all those feelings, that sense of repeating the same mistakes, being in relationships that just don't feel right, or feeling like nobody gets you. The book argues this stuff isn't random at all. It's actually the result of these invisible forces. It has almost nothing to do with what you're saying and everything to do with the subconscious emotional energy you're putting out there.
And this is really the core idea, right? Your energy literally speaks before you do. Your stress, your joy, your secret fears, it all creates this powerful, unspoken language. And other people, and as we're about to see, especially animals, they pick up on it in a heartbeat. Okay, so this is where things get really fascinating. The author, Gene Starling, discovered this unbelievable tool for making all those hidden signals totally visible. And that tool is horses. I know, it might sound a little out there, but trust me, their role in this is absolutely profound.
So she calls them an emotional mirror. And it makes so much sense when you think about it. Horses are prey animals, right? Their survival for thousands of years has depended on being hyper-aware of the energy around them. They don't listen to our excuses. They don't care about our good intentions. Nope. They just give you this raw, honest, unfiltered reflection of what's actually happening inside you.
And this is where you can really see the disconnect. I mean, look at this. On our side, we're all about words and logic, right? We're telling ourselves, okay, I'm calm, I'm fine, or my intentions are good. But the horse just bypasses all that noise. It doesn't hear our words. It feels our energy, our fear, the real emotional truth that we're trying so hard to hide.
So, the bottom line is this. You just can't fake it with a horse. They completely strip away all our social masks. They're not impressed by your performance. They can't be fooled by your explanations. They respond only to what's real inside you. And that, right there, is what makes them such incredible teachers.
All right, so let's look at a couple of lessons from the past year. I want to share a couple of stories from the book that just perfectly show how this whole thing works in practice. So, the first big lesson is that your energy is totally contagious. And this story is about the author herself and her two horses, Minnie and Dee, on what sounds like a really rough day. So get this. The author, Jean, she's feeling super agitated and frustrated inside, right? She goes out to work with her horses, and they just go wild. They're uncontrollable, bolting everywhere, total chaos. She gets so fed up that she just leaves them and goes inside to take a break. But when she calms down a bit and looks back outside, what do you think she sees? Her horses are just peacefully grazing, like nothing ever happened.
And that's when it hits her. Like, bam! She realizes the horses weren't misbehaving at all. They were just a physical embodiment of her own internal chaos. They were literally mirroring the storm that was raging inside of her.
Okay, now for lesson 2, which is that you absolutely cannot fake authenticity. This story is about a woman named Lois who was in one of the author's workshops. So Lois is clearly tense and anxious, and all she has to do is put a halter on this horse, Dee. Sounds simple, right? But every single time she gets close, Dee just bolts. Lois tries to explain it away. Oh, it's just stress from work, family stuff. But the horse knows there's something else going on. It can sense the real problem underneath. It's only when she's finally pushed to say her actual truth out loud that she is deeply, deeply unhappy in her job, that the whole dynamic shifts. The second she says it, you could see the tension just drain from her body. Her energy changes. And Dee, the horse, calmly walks right over to her.
So how do we take the reins in our own lives? I mean, these stories are amazing, but most of us don't have a horse in the backyard, right? Well, the key is to take these lessons and turn them into a practical, everyday habit of self-awareness. And here's a really simple 3-step practice you can try. First step, just pause. The next time you feel triggered, just take a breath, create a little space between the thing that happened and how you're going to respond. Second, name your true feeling, just like Lois had to. Are you really mad that your partner left the dishes out, or is the deeper feeling that you're feeling hurt or maybe unappreciated? And finally, step 3, align before you act. Just check in with yourself. Is what I'm about to say or do in line with that deeper truth, or am I just reacting? Try to respond from that aligned place.
And why is this so important? Because when you start acting from that place of alignment, you build trust. It's that simple. People, just like horses, can feel it when you're being authentic. It builds incredible trust with them for sure. But, and this is maybe the most important part, it builds trust with yourself.
There's this fantastic quote in the book that I think just sums it all up so well. It says, "Self-awareness is not found in still waters. It rises through the ripples we cause and the ones we calm." I mean, how great is that? It's not about being perfectly zen all the time. It's about actively paying attention to the emotional ripples we're putting out into the world and then learning how to calm them, starting with ourselves.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What ripple will you calm today? Just think about your interactions, your own inner world. What's one little bit of that internal chaos you can just notice and maybe choose to calm? Because really, that's always the first step. Just noticing.